Hello, this is Vance, and this is Friday, March the 10th, 2017. These are the CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. Well, it's not the trades for today. I just wanted to come on here because of a couple of issues like the elephant in the room. And that's over the last 3 days, these falling oil prices, basically. Well, actually it goes back a little bit further than that. But let me just talk a little bit about what I've seen over since Tuesday. Now, if we look at the price, the low yesterday was 48.60. Okay, that's 48.59 actually. So yesterday's low price was 48.59. It's come up since then. It's up about 40 ticks. It's sitting right now at 49.93. So it's right around the $50 mark. So yesterday and the early part this morning, we're looking at a big range, but it did tip down to 48.59. Now, since last Tuesday, we had the report, the API report came out on American Petroleum Institute report came out on Tuesday, March the 7th, and it was 11 million barrel build. And from there, on Wednesday, when the report also came out from the DOE report, prices unwound. And yesterday, in the overnight, they also unwound. Now, we did have a pullback. Prices, again, sold off. So we had this kind of range yesterday. And as a result, this was right at 9 o'clock, right here. And let me just kind of blow this up a little bit. Okay. Right here. And we're going in history here. This was 9 o'clock. Prices moved up, maybe because it was oversold. Couldn't break through. They just around the $50 mark, and then turned again, came back down and hit a new low of 48.59. This was later on. This is just at 2 o'clock. So now after the close, prices kind of moved its way back up, and now we are right here just before the open this morning. Now, why am I talking about all this? The reason I'm talking about all this is because this unwinding of price really is on the heels of these larger level builds. How much further is price going to go down? The key is it going to go back down? Are we going to go down to $26 a barrel or more than that? We really need to see what has happened. Yesterday, it was more of a consolidation. Today, may be more of the same. Idea that you should keep in mind is that when prices fall for whatever reason, and I can't tell you for sure it's because of these large builds this week. It seems reasonable to assume that that's in fact the case. These two large builds that reported by the American Petroleum Institute and the DOE and the Department of Energy perhaps started prices selling off, and then once it gained momentum, it fell off to this degree. Now, prices typically oversold farther than they should. Now or likely will have a rebound. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your stops. Generally speaking, on the 800-tick chart, I use a 15-tick stop. This is a 15-tick stop here, this little box. And if you look at it in relation to this entire unwinding, man, that's a lot of where do you pick it? Like this is difficult for you to look at where's your stop going to be as far as now. That's the reason why there's been some challenges. People probably had some major challenges this week trading if you're using a 15-tick stop. If you're a swing trader, you might not have as much of a problem. But certainly, if you were on the sell side, you would be all right as long as your stop was high enough, because look at this 15-tick stop box is actually fairly tiny. Most of these moves were larger than that. These are pretty long moves based on this 15-tick stop box, especially for a long period of time. So if you look at it from this perspective, I'd say it's 15 ticks. In this volatility is high to a higher degree. So we say that this is 15 ticks. From here, from the bottom here yesterday to the top, we're looking at what, 15, 30, 60, 120 ticks, 130 ticks, and then it turned around during the day. Usually we only have anywhere from $100 and let's say $1 to $1.50 movement on a day. That's kind of standard, maybe $2. But we had these moves right in the middle of the day yesterday, and then this is from the overnight. So we had, even though it was a range, it was a fairly volatile range. And if you look at on Wednesday, look at how far the prices kind of migrated down from the top. And this is the other thing, from the top of this, from this one move took place on Tuesday to right now, it unwound $4.53, and that was in a period of, let's call it less than 48 hours. So less than 48 hours, the prices dropped almost $5, and a lot of that, the move took place in the overnight and after hours had closed. So the regular trading hours only accounted for a small portion of that. So you have to say that price is weak at this juncture. Now, going into today, we're 5 minutes away from the open. We've had this move up off the bottom yesterday. The overnight was a fairly tight range. Let me just blow this up a little bit. This overnight was a fairly tight range right up until right now. So we're looking at, let's say this is the top of the range right here. We could say that the bottom of the range is really the overnight low. Let's call that. And since that time, prices have been. Let's just give me this. Make this straighter. Okay, let's call this the top of the range right here from the overnight. So we're looking at 49.79 down to 49.30. So like a 40 tick range, let's say, from the overnight. And this is from just the last few minutes. This is 8:30. This is 8:40. We've had this push up here. First pullback, second pullback a little bit deeper. When prices open, you probably suspect that price is going to be perhaps heading up here if we can get some solidity down here. Now, when you look at your 15-tick stop box, it's a little bit more reasonable on this. However, if it turns down and heads back down to where this overnight low was, then you may be in somewhat trouble. So you'd want to probably look at buying in if you're looking at going long, as long as your target is below the previous double top, and looking at a continuation of this move off this bottom right here, if you're looking at going long. That's pretty much it for today. So what I'm going to be doing today is kind of observing as we go along as far as consolidation is concerned. I suspect we probably oversold for the last couple of days, especially yesterday, especially with the large range that we had yesterday. But we'll wait and see. We're at the end of the week. We'll see how buyers and sellers react to the day. Maybe today is a calming influence. Generally speaking, if we have volatility during the week, when it hits the weekend, Monday kind of like it starts a little bit of a reset for the weekend. So, but again, we'll have to take a look and see how that transpires over the course of today. I'll do an update tonight. I'll give you a little bit more update in reference to the slow hand method course. I've been working on that, and yesterday I kind of stayed away from the market. I only had one trade yesterday, so that's why I didn't do an update yesterday. But I'll talk a little bit more about what transpired, what I saw for this week as of today, and see if there's anything that sets up for today that I can take. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. This is Vance. Talk to you soon.